This is the intro to Long Hair Pretty Nail Show. Yeah.
Hey y'all, what's up and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing aquarium tip nails and hopefully I don't get sued. And yes, I'm serious. I've got threatened with a lawsuit. I will get into that further in the video. But anyway, these are my nails and these nails are from my last video. These are full cover gel tips. I had them on for a little over 2 weeks and I switched out the polish. This is the Hollow Taco multi-chrome polish and it is so gorgeous. This color is called Mischief and it is my favorite out of the whole collection. Like, I just love this color and my camera isn't picking up like the gorgeousness of this, but that is this color. I'm gonna go ahead and take the nail polish off using 100% acetone nail polish remover. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and fill in this set and turn these tips into aquarium tips. Now, the nails have been on for 2 weeks and for the most part, they're pretty sturdy. The index finger though has some lifting in it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take that off. But all the other nails are on very sturdy and no air bubbles, no lifting or anything like that. So for the index finger, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my nippers to clip off the length and then I'm just gonna file this off. You can definitely soak this if you're not comfortable with the e-file, but I don't feel like waiting, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use my e-file to file it all the way off. So once completely removing the index fingernail, I'm just gonna do my prep as usual, pushing back my cuticles and using the opposite end to scrape up any of that dead skin. And then I'm going to use my safety bit just to blend in that area where the tip has grown out. I want it to be very smooth where you can't really see the transition of it growing out to where it's just seamless. After doing all of the prep, I'm going to go in with this slender nail drill bit and I want to file off my natural nail underneath the nail. Because I'm doing aquarium tips, I need as much space as I can get and I don't want my nails to show through. So I'm just gonna go ahead and file them off. Later on, I switched over to this drill bit. I was able to get the natural nails off much quicker and cleaner. So after all of that, I'm just gonna go in with my cuticle bits and further do the cuticle prep. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks, so I have some prep to do. So this is after all of the nail tip and cuticle prep. This is what the nails are looking like. And yes, I have to go ahead and fix this one. So I am just gonna apply my dehydrator and primer. I'm kind of speeding through this, but if you guys wanna see a step-by-step of how I did these nails, this is kind of a variation of the Femi Beauty Lazy Girl method. I used polygel and a full cover gel tip to put this on. But yeah, if you want step-by-step of how I did this, definitely check out my last video. I will leave a link down below. But here I forgot to etch the inside of the nail tip and this video was filmed over 3 days, so the next day this bad boy popped off. So definitely do not forget to etch the inside of your nail tip. But anyway, after putting the polygel on and kind of squeezing it in place, making sure to clean up the excess around the cuticle area, I just go ahead and cure that, and I did that for 60 seconds. So this is what it looks like after the tip is all on and it's like new. And I'm just going to use my buffer to go ahead and buff the shine away from the nail tip. Alright, so to form the platform for my aquarium tips, I'm using clear builder gel. In this case, I'm using the Poochie's Nails builder gel, and I'm going to use the backing paper from this nail form. So that is what that is. So taking the gel brush and the builder gel, I'm just going to kind of gauge how wide I need to make this. And you want it to be, you know, thin, but not too thin. You know, you want it to be able to hold some liquid. So I'm just making a rectangle platform. And I'm making it a tad bit longer than what I need because I'm going to need a little bit extra room to create the stopper. And I'll show you guys what that is once I get to it. But yeah, I just do this for all of the nails, just kind of eyeballing the width and the length. And this is after curing all of those aquarium tank platforms. They're pretty sticky, and you guys know how I hate that sticky layer on gel. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe all these off with alcohol. All right, so now taking the platform, I'm just making sure that, you know, each finger kind of fits the way that I want. Some of these, they did shrink, so, you know, you may have to make them a tad bit bigger. So to seal everything in, I'm using Kiara Sky all-in-one clear acrylic powder along with the monomer. You could use gel to seal in your tanks, but I've been doing aquarium tips over the years and I feel like acrylic gives the best seal. So that is what I'm gonna use today. I'm gonna go in with my Mia Secret nail prep and just apply that to my natural nails where I'm doing the fill-in. And then I'm gonna go in with the primer. And then I'm just gonna fill in the nails with a small bead of clear acrylic. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, but these are gel tips. How are you filling in with acrylic? This is definitely possible as long as everything is, you know, your gel is cured. You can go on top of that with acrylic and vice versa. If you wanna fill in your acrylic nails with gel, you can do that. So I just decided to do this since I already had it out, and acrylic is just a little easier for me to work with and it's faster. Also, some of these nails were kind of, you know, as they grow out, they're full of tips, so they're not like custom to my nail. So in some spots, I kind of had to build them up and all of that. So that is why I chose to use acrylic. But you know, you can use what you want, but you know, this is what I like to use. All right, so after doing the fill-in, I'm just gonna take that aquarium tip base and cut it with these enormous scissors. I couldn't find my smaller ones. And then this is the stopper part that I was telling you guys about. Because this is going to be filled with liquid, you kind of need a stopper at the base of the nail to hold in the liquid. So I just apply a small bead of clear acrylic inside the nail. And then as that is setting, I place the little platform in it, and I just make sure to kind of tuck it in and fill in any gaps where I see it. So I give that time to set, and this is what it's looking like so far. Now I'm gonna take the rest of the platform and we're just gonna seal all around the perimeter of this. And you want your beads to kind of be, you know, not too wet, but you want them to kind of, you know, seal in, kind of seep a little bit under the seal so you have a nice tight seal. Because like I said, these are going to be filled with liquid and you don't want any chance of that coming out. So I was extra careful. In some cases, I probably put too much acrylic, but you can always file that. I just really wanted to make sure that everything was sealed and there were no gaps. All right, so this is after sealing all of those aquarium tanks, and this was a task and a half, like doing all the nails like this, like it took forever. But anyway, I'm just gonna use my scissors to cut off the excess gel. And that's one thing I do like about gel. If it's not too thick, you can cut it. Acrylic, you can't do that. So I decided I wanted to hand file it, but it was just taking a little bit too long. So we're just gonna speed this up with the e-file. And I'm just being extremely careful to not go too far. I'm just taking off the excess gel on the tip and this little stopper part that I made. So this is after filing off all the excess, and then I'm gonna go back to my hand file. I decided to do the hand filing because, like I said, this tank is gonna hold liquid, and if you e-file, it's a possibility that you can break the seal. So with hand filing, I can see exactly what I'm doing, and I can make sure that I'm not gonna overfile the seal. So this is after doing the filing, shaping, and buffing, and I am loving how this is looking. The tanks aren't too wide. I mean, they are thicker at the bottom, but they don't, they're not like super wide like some of the ones that I've done in the past. So I'm going to use this food coloring that I got from Kroger, and I'm going to use this green color, and then I'm also going to use some liquid coconut oil. And I have these blunt syringes that I got from Amazon. And I'm just gonna pour some of that coconut oil into a separate damping dish and draw up my syringes. The first one, I'm gonna draw up the coconut oil. And then we have this food coloring that has this little hole in the center. The first syringe needle was a little too short, so I had to switch over to this longer one. And I kind of had a little bit of difficulty drawing up the food coloring. It was making a mess. But what I figured out was I had to stick in the needle and then tilt the bottle upside down, and then it kind of filled up the syringe. So yeah, I load those up, and then now I'm just gonna put some coconut oil into the tank and some food coloring. And the pinky nail is so small, like I put way too much coconut oil, so I was trying to push some of it out by putting more of the food coloring in there, and it was just too much liquid altogether, and it didn't move the way that I wanted to. So I got a clean syringe and I sucked as much as everything out that I could, and then I put a smaller amount of coconut oil and then some more food coloring. And it's still too much, so I'm just sucking out a little bit of that coconut oil. You want to make sure you have a good air bubble to kind of, have some movement. So I was a bit frustrated at this nail at this point, so I just like, you know what, this is it. I'm just gonna go ahead and seal this up with a bead of acrylic. And I repeat the same thing for each nail. As I went to each nail, it got a bit easier because, they're bigger, and I was also able to gauge how much coconut oil versus food coloring that I needed to put in each tank. So if you've been following me for years, you know that this is not something new that I've done. I've done aquarium tips, I've done liquid vampire nails, I've done a lot of these. So I really wanted to add like some glitter or some beads or something to these nails, but I cannot because I've been threatened with a lawsuit. So last year, the patent holder to Aquarium Nails contacted me, wanted me to do a review on her aquarium tips. So I sent her my rates, because this is my job, a girl got bills, and she wasn't too happy to find out that I had rates. So she basically threatened me and said that I was infringing on her patent. She even brought up that I was featured on the Real Talk show for Aquarium Nails, and that was her whole design and all this stuff. So, I was just like, okay. I'm still not gonna do this video for you for free. So I was just like, okay, whatever. So I researched the patent to see what it entitled, and it pretty much said that if you add any opaque objects to your aquarium tips, then that is her patent. So unfortunately, I can't add any glitter or beads or anything that's not liquid. So yeah, that is how I'm getting around, not being sued. But it's just crazy. Like, I never really thought that I would encounter stuff like this. I guess being a large nail vlogger, you just run into all these type of problems. Many other creators use this technique, and I'm pretty sure they have not been threatened with a lawsuit. Like, I know for a fact one of the creators reached out to me and was like, she said what? And it was a whole email from, to the other person saying, oh, I just love your version of aquarium tips. So it's just like, okay. But yeah, I don't want to get sued, so that is why we're just sticking with the liquid. But after filling all of the tanks and sealing them up, this is what the nails are looking like. And I must say, these are the best aquarium tips that I have done. I love the movement. Like, I like how these turned out. So I'm going to take my hand file and lightly file around the areas that I had to seal, and also buff that as well to smooth everything out. And I want to emphasize lightly, you don't want to break the seal because all the oil and food coloring will come out. So this is after doing my final filing and buffing. And now I'm going to go in with the Madam Glam Perfect White Gel Polish. And I'm just going to apply this to my nail bed area. And using my cleanup brush to make a nice sharp line. And I did 2 coats of that on each nail. And now I'm going in with the black gel polish and my Alpha Striper brush, and we're going to create some stripes. So after doing those stripes on all of the nails, I'm going in with this Joya Mia Illuminix gel polish. This is color MX11, and it is the perfect green translucent kind of slime color. So I'm just going to use my nail art brush and dotting tool to create some drips. And I did that for all of the nails except for the middle finger. So I wanted to add some chunky crystals to this nail, so I'm going to go ahead and seal it in with the Poochie's Nails top coat and cure. And then I'm going to go in with a medium-sized bead of clear acrylic. And I'm just going to press these large crystals into that acrylic. Had to work pretty fast because you want to do this before it cures. So I put the rest of those on off camera. And then I just use my brush to kind of smooth out that bead. So then I also kind of fill in the gaps with small beads just to make sure everything stays in place. And that is so cute. All right, so this is after adding all of the drips to all the nails, and I just love how this looks so far. But of course, we need some bling. So I'm using the Poochie's Nails Bling Gel and top coat. First starting off with the Bling Gel and applying that to the nail. And then without curing, going over that with the top coat. And I'm just applying some more crystals and caviar beads. And once I like that placement, I went ahead and cured. And I'm just gonna apply a band of crystals around the border here. And I did that for the rest of the nails. So this is after all of my crystals are on and the nails are just like, oh my God, these turned out so cute. But I decided to go ahead and put some top coat underneath as well because I did file and buff the underside, so it was a little ashy. So yes, gotta put some top coat underneath. And then after curing that, applying my cuticle oil. And here is the finished look. Y'all, these aquarium tips were like the best I've made. Like, I have never had this much movement. They move a little better when my hands are warm. It's a little stiff right now, but still, oh my God, these look so cool. I think this is the best Halloween nail design that I have done. I have really outdone myself. And this took me, like I said, I filmed this video over 3 days. But yeah, this is what it looks like outside. And oh my gosh, I really like how these turned out. The only thing I didn't like is that some of the nails are cloudy, I guess from the clear acrylic. It was a lot of acrylic and, you know, separate beads, so that may have something to do with it. I don't know, but you know, it's not too bad. It still look good. You can still see the liquid moving, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Halloween inspired aquarium liquid nails. These are like my favorite nails so far. Like, I'm not even kidding, but but I hope you guys enjoyed this nail video, and I will talk to you in the next one.
This is the outro to the Long Hair Pretty Nail Show. Yeah.